Guys, in today's video I'm going to cover a lot of different altcoins. So if you even remotely interested in what the altcoin charts are looking like across the board, then you should watch this video till the very end, because I'm going to give you a lot of information and we're going to have a look at a lot of different charts. So guys, let's jump straight into it. And of course, we are going to start with the king of the altcoins, and that is Ethereum, because what generally happens, guys, in previous bull markets, we are often seeing Bitcoin taking the lead for a very long time, and then Ethereum as phase 2 is kicking off, like Ethereum is exploding, there's a big reaction in Ethereum, then Ethereum transitions into an uptrend and it will drag with it the whole altcoin market in the phase 3 and later phases after Ethereum has been taking off. So the wait was also a little bit in these market conditions for Ethereum to take off. So we are also going to start with the Ethereum chart. So when we have a look at Ethereum against US dollar, guys, I want to say one thing right from the start. A lot of people get confused because the volume, as you can see right here, is very low. Right? The reason why the volume here is low is because most charts, they are measuring the volume of Ethereum in Ethereum, not in terms of US dollars. If you go to a US dollar Tether contract, right here, you can see that the volume is measured in US dollar Tether. Therefore, you definitely see a different volume profile. So a lot of people saying that, yeah, there's no volume, the price has to come down. It's not necessarily the case, because the price, of course, is trading higher than it did previously, and therefore when it's measured in Ethereum, you need less Ethereum to get similar types of volume in US dollar comparisons. But let's just have a very simple look at this chart, and what we can see, guys, is that so far we actually are still in a downtrend on the time frame right here, on the weekly time frame, because we have a high. As you can see right here, we had a kind of a double top formation. Between that, we had a low, and so far we've created a lower low. This is the definition of a downtrend, but don't think that I'm getting bearish on this chart right now, because I'm not bearish at all, and I'm going to give you enough reasons why I'm not bearish. But technically, we do have to still say that this is on a weekly time frame in a downtrend, but on a daily time frame, guys, it is already changing. It is already an uptrend. But what we want to see right now is that for the next top, whenever that is going to happen, we want to see a new low being formed that is higher than this low. So that can be right here. It can also be, for example, right here. It can also be a little bit higher, but that low should not surpass this level, because if we are going to break this level right here, which will be at roughly 1400 US dollars, then that definitely shows a lot of weakness in the Ethereum price, and it definitely shows that we are going to see a continuous bleed. But we have a lot of positive signals that we can see right here as well. And the thing that's most positive is, of course, Ethereum against Bitcoin, because this chart represents more than only the valuation of Ethereum against Bitcoin. And I'm going to explain you why, guys. This is very important, and this makes a lot of sense in terms of market dynamics. But let's first of all have a look at the structure right here. The structure has been very bearish since 2021. So since the bull market top in 2021, we just actually have been going down, and Ethereum has been bleeding. There has been a lot of capitulation. This is already actually a positive sign, in the sense of that a lot of time has already passed, a lot of capitulation has already happened. And therefore, the chances that we are going to form a bottom is increasing. And the low that we have been formed right here is, coincidentally, which is not coincidence, of course, exactly at these levels. And the previous times we were trading at these levels, we were actually bottoming from the bear market in 2018-19, and we transitioned into a uptrend until the end of 2021. So that was pretty long time. Let's say 2 years uptrend of Ethereum against Bitcoin. Well, I'm not sure if that's going to happen right now as well, but we do see some similar price action. So when we touch this low right here, we get quite a nice pump in the Ethereum valuation against Bitcoin, and then we retested this low. It is a possibility, guys, that we are going to retest this low, but that doesn't mean that Ethereum will go down in the US dollar comparative, because if Bitcoin right now shoots directly up to 130,000 US dollars, then this will also retest these lows if Ethereum doesn't follow that price. So don't get bearish if this chart is going to come down. It just means that probably in this phase of the bull market, Bitcoin is traveling more further than Ethereum. But guys, what this move is actually telling us right here is that there is a lot of confidence that is flowing back into the markets, because when the Ethereum price goes up against Bitcoins, and you can see that in these periods right here, when it goes up, it generally resembles a very strong but mostly very confident market. So a lot of people are confident in the market. That's why they are increasing their speculation, because Bitcoin is the safe bet. Ethereum is a little bit more speculative than Bitcoin, and therefore the more speculation there's going on in the markets, the higher this chart goes, the more confidence there is among investors, right? So this is a very good sign, especially a reaction from these lows right here, because the last time we actually touched these levels is roughly 5 to 6 years ago. That's pretty insane, guys. So I definitely expect this big of a reaction. This is a really big of a reaction. So we had some like pumps right here, as you can see, but what we have seen right here is a really big reaction, which I think is really significant, and I think is a potential high likelihood for the start of a uptrend. So that this is the end of a downtrend, that we transition right here into an uptrend. That is bullish for Ethereum, that is bullish for all the altcoins. And another chart to watch, and I think this is probably the most bullish chart among all altcoins right now. This is the total market cap of all the altcoins. This is the total market cap of crypto without Bitcoin and without Ethereum even. And what we can see, guys, is that we are very clear in a uptrend right here. We are very clear in a uptrend, making higher lows, making higher highs, recently made a higher low, and we have a formation right here, which is a, you can call this a megaphone pattern. It looks like we are breaking that resistance, or we are trying to break that resistance right now. And if we can break that resistance, which I believe we are going to do, that is just going to be so bullish, because the previous time, guys, we have something similar, seen something similar right here. This was also kind of like a, maybe more like a descending channel rather than a megaphone. This is clearly a little bit more of a megaphone, but the moment we break out, we get a very nice surge in the price. So guys, breaking from this pattern, reaching this target is very bullish, because that means that the complete altcoin market cap has been brought to new all-time highs, and we will be in price discovery, which of course brings a lot of speculation, brings a lot of craziness, a lot of hype, a lot of news, and a lot of new players probably that are going to enter the market and going to jump into altcoins, because that is what a lot of people do late in the bull market, because they see that Bitcoin has made already this big of a rally and they can't imagine doubling their money, and they are probably a little bit too greedy and they want to at least double, triple, or maybe even more their investment, and therefore they are going to look at more speculative plays, more high risk plays. And that is also the part in the bull market that we are right now, that there is going to be a lot of attention going to altcoins. Now let's have a look at some altcoins that I am having my eyes on, or that I'm very much invested in. And this is one of the altcoins, guys. This is DYDX, and I just want to make it very simple, very easy for you guys. Right now, what we are seeing is similar as with Ethereum. We technically on the weekly time frame still have a downtrend, but we have a very good contester as seeing the lows already and transitioning into an uptrend. I'm going to show you why. So we have like a lower high right here, we have a lower low, and we have a lower low right here. This lower low I think already is very beautiful, because we have a kind of rounded bottom, something similar that we have seen right here. But this was quite a big move, guys. From this low till this high was a move of 230%. So if we would do something similar right now, 230%, it would bring the price of DYDX back to $1.60. That is almost a doubling from the levels that we are right now. But what we are seeing right here is that we have around the bottom, the first higher lows are already coming in. So we already have a low right here in the middle, the first high lows coming, which is showing us that on the short-term time frame, we are back into an uptrend, something similar that we have seen right here. Low, the first high lows coming in. This is the most important signal very early, because you cannot know, if you really want to play 100% safe, guys, then you have to wait until this breaks this high, then rolls over and creates a higher low. This would be the most safest bet in order to get a good entry on this altcoin. However, you can also play it like me and already try to get in earlier, because I believe this is definitely a huge investment opportunity. And the reason why I think that is just because on time. I mostly base my trades or my investments, I mostly base them on time recently, because I think time is one of the most important factors when it comes to analysis, because there is a time for everything, there's a season for everything, and I believe the season of altcoins is right now or in the next coming months. It is very difficult to predict it right exact on the day or on the month, as you guys know, because I have been expecting it already a little bit earlier. Didn't happen, but I'm still expecting this to play out, because I know I can't predict it exactly on the date. Right, although I do believe that I'm eyeing August 2025 for the big alt season. But yeah, most of the time before the big alt season, you already see these altcoins like starting to trend up. So they already transitioned into an uptrend, and then in the big alt season, that is where they really go crazy, really go parabolic. And if DYDX can reach these levels, like, I don't know, it really depends how crazy this bull market is going to be, but I don't think it's the time yet to be scared or be too bearish. Although, and this is very important to note, although we have to acknowledge the fact that technically on a weekly time frame, a lot of these charts are still in a downtrend. Now let's go to another one, guys, Sushiswap. And the reason I'm looking at this chart in this bar formation is because I want to filter out the noise. I don't want to get you guys too emotionally connected with red and green bars, so we can just really try to look at this chart from a objective perspective, right? And what we can see right then, I find this chart actually very interesting among a lot of other charts, which I will share later in this video, is that this is a very nice bottoming formation. We have a low right here, we have a second low, and we have a third low, and from the third low we're getting a nice high lows, and we're getting a nice reaction right here, a faster reaction than we have seen right here, and a faster reaction than we have seen right here. It is also very important, and we had a deviation, so this low got below this low, so it took out a lot of liquidity, it grabbed a lot of liquidity, directly went up. We didn't spend much time there, okay? That's what is so nice about this chart. I'm expecting this to be a reversal, but again, you have to be a little bit cautious with the fact that we did form a lower low. But in my opinion, guys, that's a fake out, that is a deviation, that is a liquidity grab. Because this chart already made actually a higher high compared to the previous high. So that is also already pretty bullish. So I believe this will transition as well into an uptrend as we are entering the altcoin season. And altcoins like XLM are even more obvious, right? They just form higher lows, so they are already clearly in an uptrend because they grabbed a lot of hype with the ISO 222, including of course XRP, which as a chart looks very similar as to the one from XLM. We have a low right here, massive breakout, new high, formed a higher low. We recently broke out this resistance. I believe, guys, XRP will be definitely one of the big winners. It is already one of the big winners from this bull market, but I think this one will continue to go up because that is exactly what the chart is telling us. And then we also have charts like Filecoin, and as you guys know, I'm actually, I really do like Filecoin because I love the structure that I'm seeing. I don't love this structure in the sense of that I want to have 100% of my portfolio in such a structure. Definitely not. But I love to see this structure because we had in 2018 and 19, we had some consolidation right here. And by the way, this is a US-based altcoin. Then we had in the altcoin season, and this is, guys, this is again what you can see in a very short amount of time. This is happening. A very short amount of time, these altcoins are catching a lot of liquidity. Therefore, it is really a market of seasonality. So there's just you can be years in these tokens, as you can see right here, and nothing really happens. Although nothing happens, we have some fluctuations, of course, which are pretty big fluctuations because from the support to the resistance is a 190% increase, but nevertheless we are trading in a sideways range. From this sideways range we recently broke down, grabbed liquidity, and now we are back into this range. And the last time we did the opposite of that was actually right here, as you can see. Once we are doing something like that, guys, if we are breaking out of a range, breaking down or breaking out to the upside or to the downside, and we go back into the range, this is often a very strong sign for the opposite direction. So here people think, oh, we are breaking out, it goes back into the range, it's very more likely to go to the bottom of the range because this is extra bearish, and that's why this is extra bullish, because we get a deviation, we get a liquidity grab, we surpass this low right here, we quickly shoot up. And if we should be very bearish, and if we were to be in a, let's say, a apocalypse event where this thing just should decline further, it should be rejected right there and continue to go down. But going back into the range, have some strength in there, get a weekly close in there, these are all very bullish signs. Therefore, I think Filecoin is very bullish, but we gotta be honest, we are also really early right here. But then on the other hand, guys, things move super fast, because if I would draw a range right here, right, we have a sideways range right here, then you can also see from the last deviation or the last touch of the support, we just pretty quickly went back to the resistance, came back down, had a higher low, as you can see right here. So we transitioned into this uptrend, came back to the resistance, broke it, and just went complete crazy right here. Then when we have a look at LUNC, Luna Classic, guys, I like this token, and you guys know why. But this is just a very, this is just a beautiful pattern that is forming. And again, with the seasonality that we are entering, I have definitely a lot of trust in this. So we also have like a low, we have a deviation below that low, we grabbed a lot of liquidity. Then we came back, we have a higher low, showing us already that we are entering right here in an uptrend. And of course, when we bring out things like momentum indicators, this is just bringing higher lows, showing us that in the background from this price action, the momentum is already building up. So I'm really expecting this one to sooner or later break out and to really get some traction, to get some hype, and to get a lot of attention in the crypto world. The timing is a little bit difficult to say, but just from the simple market dynamics, what we are seeing right here, I personally believe that this chart is looking very bullish, and that will change if we break below this low. Yeah, I see that really as the less likely scenario for this case in a Luna Classic. Then guys, another token that I'm looking at is of course Shiba Inu. It is a meme token, I know, but just looking at this structure, I'm seeing like a triangle formation. And although in this case also right here we have a high, we have a lower high, we have a low, we have a lower low, I still believe that it is bullish, unless if we break below this low, of course, then it will definitely change. But because we do had a deviation right here as well, we broke below this trend line, we quickly got bought up. So there was kind of like a panic, a liquidation, and you guys all felt it because the whole market was literally bearish, and then we quickly went up. And what I believe, guys, and I shared this also in the Discord channel in the community, that you can join with the link down below in the description if you are looking for like-minded individuals or people, or you're looking for some social contact to talk about trading or self-development and these things. And make sure to join. But we are not going to turn around before the opposite of the pole is met in terms of emotional state. So what I'm trying to say is, guys, and hear me out, because this is really important information and a lot of people don't really understand this. And if you understand this, you already probably outperform most people out there. And the concept is actually pretty simple. The market moves from one extreme to another extreme. It is a pendulum that swings from the left to the right. And let's say here is the bears, and here are the bulls. So we go from extreme bear, where everyone feels like, well, it's over. I need to change my profession. I'm going to leave crypto. It is just over. I'm going to wait a couple of years. Or this complete desperation, like you just don't believe in it anymore. Right? That's because you are bombarded with the news. The news is taking advantage of that, guys. They are making these emotional states more extreme to drive the price lower or higher into their favor. And this is pretty well known, because it is very difficult for news to influence the masses exactly. So what they do is they just lean into these pendulum swings that are already happening in the first place, these emotional swings. So if we go to an extreme bear scenario, guys, where everyone is just losing hope and faith, then we also gotta meet the opposite of that coin. That is the law of the universe. That's why we have bull and bear markets. That's why we are going from extreme lows to extreme highs. We are doing that on a bigger scale. We are doing that on a smaller scale too. You probably recognize that within your own emotional state. But because we had recently this very bearish price action, a lot of people have been losing faith in crypto. We also have to reach the opposite of that coin before we are going to roll over again. And then, of course, zooming out is just the question, where are we in the big cycle? That is, of course, another thing to think about. But definitely for me right now, to be bearish has more to do with the fact that we have seen a lot of bearish price action and that you are caught up in the emotional state of the markets, rather than that the charts are all looking that bearish, because I personally don't think that the charts are all looking that bearish. Then we go to, for example, this chart. This is another meme token on Solana. This is with dog with head. Was actually very bearish. We're in the sideways range. We broke down. We had a very big breakdown. But as you can see right here, we are right now trading back into this range. A reclaim of this range on the weekly time frame. Maybe we do need a little bit more time in this range in order to get a confirmation. But so far, this is looking pretty strong, guys. It looks like that this thing has already been transitioning into a uptrend, making higher highs and higher lows. Breaking back into this range, if we can hold this range, then I definitely think that this chart will go higher too. There's a lot of strength that is coming into this chart, and it can be, of course, relief. But if we really were to be in a bear market, would prices really rally 330% after a big down move? I personally don't think so. It looks more like the start of a new uptrend. It looks like we have met a certain extreme right here, the bear market lows in the bull market, but then for altcoins, and now we are just transitioning to an uptrend. And I think a lot of guys, and this video is going to be a little bit longer than usual, because I think a lot of you guys have doubts. Personally, I see a lot of you guys have doubts. Also in the comment section, a lot of people still believe that the markets are generally looking bearish. Also, when I'm scrolling on the internet, on Twitter, a lot of people, they tweet about the market being bearish. But yeah, personally, I don't think that is really the best stance to take right now, because multiple reasons. Well, the main reason that we are in that last phase of the 4-year cycle, which generally or historically has been for the past, 12 years, the most bullish part of the whole cycle in general. So that means that in terms of season, in terms of time, we actually are in the most bullish phase. And can it be different? This is an important question to ask. Can it be different? Yes, it can be different. But should we just assume that it is different while we haven't seen it in the past? We haven't seen a change of that trend yet. So can it be different? Yeah, of course it can be different, because the markets can always surprise us. But it hasn't done so already, so then it's definitely more safer to lean to the fact that the market is just going to repeat what we have seen over the past 12 years. Why not? Because it has not really changed, it has not showed us yet a change of structure. So when we have a look at a coin like Dash, I really like this coin, privacy coin. They have a lot of developments going on, a lot of updates. I think some apps, they're coming, smart contracts coming to this token as well. Even if it would not be Dash, if this would be any other token, I'm seeing a falling wedge, and I'm seeing the same thing. I'm seeing a deviation below the wedge right here, grabbing liquidity, going back up, and probably, I'm pretty sure when I bring up momentum indicators, it's just making higher lows, showing us that in the background of here, the momentum is already way higher than we are trading right now. This coin should be trading way higher than it is right now, but it is not. And that is the whole point of making money with investing, is you have to see these opportunities basically, because once they happen, as you can see with Ethereum, it's almost instantly, it just goes up and boom. Most people, like it's I gotta be honest, it's also with Bitcoin right here. A lot of people were completely bearish on Bitcoin right here at these lows. They sold here, probably. They maybe sold somewhere right here. Okay, then Bitcoin goes lower. They think like, oh yeah, I did a good job, because Bitcoin still went $1,000 or $2,000 lower than from the point that I sold. It depends, of course, where you sold. But then the moment it turns around, guys, it's not looking back. It hasn't had a single correction where you had the chance to scoop up Bitcoin. So a lot of people who left here because they were bearish and then they felt confident because it went lower, they didn't re-enter at the right level, and right now they are in a loss, of course, because if they would have remained in position, they would be up. So that's also, guys, how the market and market makers and this whole emotional state is tricking you. You really have to go against your own emotional state, guys, because here also, when Bitcoin really goes, there is literally no pullback. We go here, and once it goes, guys, you're only going to think like, oh shit, I should have been positioned. And when it is going to pull back, now it's too high. I don't want to buy. And even this pullback, you probably think it will be too high to buy. And then right here, you will think, yeah, no, I'm going to buy because it's going up, and I just assume that it's going to go up. But then the season has already passed. The season has passed, and then another season is starting. The season of consolidation, the season of everything to calm down a bit, to recalibrate the emotional state of the markets. And then a new season will start. And the seasons, the further in time we get, up until the end of this year, which we have seen historically in Bitcoin, seasons will get more crazy. They will get shorter and they will get more crazy. It will draw in more people to the markets, and there will be more speculation into the markets. That's why a lot of these liquidity will eventually, in my humble opinion, guys, go to altcoins. And that's why I am also betting on these altcoins, like I've been saying. And also, guys, when I was betting on these altcoins, like after the big XRP trade we did on the channel, I, of course, saw a decline in my portfolio as well. Like, definitely something, but it was for me not a reason to sell, because I know that the season is starting. I was just too early, and that is a mistake for me, and I should learn from these mistakes that if you have time, wait for the best entry, but position when that entry comes, because if you don't position, you didn't plant the seed, nothing will grow. You gotta plant that seed the moment you can, and you gotta harvest that seed the moment you can as well, because you cannot always harvest at the same time or the same amount. You can only harvest at certain periods. It is the exact same thing, guys, what is happening with the seasons and with agriculture, with corn and you name it. This is the exact same thing. And a nice analogy to make here as well, guys, is also right now in Holland, it's nice weather, right? It's spring, summerish weather. And right now, you just feel like, wow, the weather is so nice. It is difficult to imagine the winter. It's difficult because you walk in the sunshine, you walk in the heat, and it's just, you are in a different place. So you have to imagine something that it's not in your physical reality right now. That's what makes it so difficult to imagine it. It feels like summer will last forever until it one day suddenly it's a little bit cold and suddenly it's freezing. And that's the same in the markets, because when we are low, when it's really bearish, it's very difficult to imagine what it's like to be bullish again, right? But this is the exact thing that you have to anticipate, guys. That is one of the best market advices that I can give you guys. Study your own emotional state, look at the markets and ask yourself, am I making an emotional decision? Am I making a decision based on the rational thinking, on my trading rules? Where am I basing my decision on? And for me, it took a very long time before I actually could recognize this emotional state. But right now, guys, when I, for example, feel that I'm a little bit disbelief, maybe not the right word, because I don't feel disbelief at this specific moment, but I see it around me. But when I feel doubt, so a little bit insecurity about my altcoin portfolio, it just tells me that I'm in the right position, because it should feel insecure. You should feel doubts when you are entering the market. Because if you are entering overconfidently, everyone feels like that. So what you experience on a surface level on an emotional state is probably what a lot of different people in the market feeling as well. And if a lot of people feeling right here, they're feeling scared, the price is going to come down, you can enter knowing that a lot of people are feeling that anxiety or scared that Bitcoin is going back to $50,000 or whatnot. While if you just look at the charts and don't think emotionally at all, you would just see that we are just creating a higher low right here. We are just still in a uptrend, entering the last phase of this bull market. So yeah, guys, I really hope that this video will shine a light a little bit on the market dynamics, how the market works, and no one is going to trade the markets perfectly, and the best professional traders are going to have losses now and then. It's part of the game, it's something we gotta embrace. But the true part of the game, the true winners are the ones who know when to take risk and the ones who know when to reduce risk. And it is often, almost always, the opposite of your own emotional state. So that is what I want to give you guys, because I want to help every single one of you, of course, to make better decisions right in the financial markets, guys. And that's also the exact reason why during this time I really told myself I'm not going to make one bearish video at all, because during this time, guys, I'm gonna be honest, if you make bearish videos, you'll definitely get more views or more attention, because everyone is looking for that confirmation bias. But for me, I've learned from my previous bull markets, because in previous bull markets, guys, I have dealt with these feelings That's why I right now can say, like, I'm not letting those bear thoughts creep in my mind. I'm not letting those doubts creep in my mind. I'm not going to lean into that. I'm going to acknowledge it. I'm going to see that it is there. I'm going to say that, okay, maybe I also feel a little bit doubts, but that's part of this part of the cycle. So guys, if you were bearish right here, then it's better to take profits at these levels. But now you feel probably a little bit more bullish again because you've already seen the effects. You've already seen the evidence. But you gotta be before the evidence. You gotta see it before it's happening. That's the whole point of it. So during this scary moments, bearish moments, and everyone is doubting whether we are going to see a massive recession, bear market, you know, that is the moment that you already should be able to see, like, whoa, when this is over, when this market is going to turn the next higher low, it will explode to the upside because everyone is positioned outside of the markets. Everyone is selling right here. That is how you should think. At least that's what I believe. But yeah, who am I, guys? You guys watching this video, you can tell me whether you think that is right or wrong, or maybe something works better for you. I also don't want to claim like I have all the answers, because that's just basically not. I'm just sharing my experience, and this is one of the things that is just very clear for me. So one of the biggest struggles with investing and trading is your own emotional state. When you have insights in that, when you can conquer that, you already will outperform. You can already make trading a profession if you are good in that. You can make trading a profession and you can live from it if you are good in recognizing the emotions, mastering your own emotional state, and do actions that go against your own emotional state. It's very, very powerful. Guys, that was it for this very long video. I hope you enjoyed the knowledge that I've shared in this video. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Like this video, subscribe if you are new to the channel, join the community as well with the link down below. And if you want to trade, I'm recommending a couple of exchanges. You can sign up with the affiliate link down below. And yeah, guys, I wish you all a beautiful day and hope to see every single one of you in the next video. Bye bye.